is a call to any and all mercenaries in the Ronto region and beyond. We're looking to set up some heavily armed security around Nuka-World North and could use your help. Come and join a safe and sturdy team hoping to bring back some fun to the Wasteland, one park at a time. Payment is $350 caps per week to be paid every Friday. Arms are on site, but if you have heavier munitions, bring them. We want a fortified force in case of any incidents. And don't mind the robots around the park. They're fine. Totally not the reason we need some extra guns around here. If interested, come to Nuka-World North anytime during the day. Any day you want.
Good morning, Ronto. This is Conrad Getz for Double Radio, and if I'm being honest, I have not slept all night. The reason for that is because I got to go to Nightmares at Nuka-World North the other night, and only just got back to the station with Hunter. For anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'll get right into it since it's some rather interesting news. I'm sure some of you with working radios have heard the transmissions calling for mercenary and security help at Nuka-World North recently, and making it sound just a little too good to be true, right? Like 350 caps a week of security duty is pretty good, but the talk about incidents and needing guns felt a bit off. Well, Hunter and I took a trek up there a couple days ago to check it out, since we wouldn't say no to some extra caps, and seeing the park at this time of year seemed like it might be fun. Of course, the caps are a bit of a fib to entice people's attention, but there are certainly still caps to be made while you're there. But that's not all. The whole park has been turned into a bit of a horror show for the month, and that's saying something compared to how it normally is. The years since the Great War haven't been the best for the old amusement park, but the folks working on putting it back together, in a sense, have been doing an okay job. The park itself is still divided into the major sections that existed pre-war, although each part is run by some different groups. Some used to be raiders, some were military of various types, and there are plenty of merchants with stalls around Nuka-Town North. They've also been working on recommissioning the old Robco automats to try and get folks fed for a few caps, which I really respect. Just as long as they make sure the rad roach meat has the rads cooked out of it, then it should be fine, and they won't need to worry about stocking any extra radaway around. Some of the old rides are up and running, which I can only imagine burns through a fair amount of fusion cores. More fascinating is the amount of animatronic bottles and cappies I saw wandering the park, providing information for folks during the day. I suspect some former Vault-Tec or Brotherhood folks might be working with them behind the scenes to get that much up and running. While the park itself is fun during daylight hours, it was after the sunset that things got extra fun. That's when the Nightmares part of the day started, which turned the whole park into a cursed land filled with rogue animatronics, ghouls, and other creepy crawlies that are unleashed across the park to terrorize and entertain. The old Kitty Kingdom area also supposedly had a Deathclaw somehow wrangled into a corn maze just for the event, with some sort of fence system to keep it from being loose around the place. The ghouls were all hired to play out scenarios in some of the spooky mazes set up at random points, while rad roaches, cobra chickens, and some other mutated creatures were let around the Nuka Mountain, with a few of them being tagged with caps very carefully pinned, so if you managed to track one down, you could win a prize if your aim was good enough. The rest of the park had a lot of the wandering animatronics and protectrons reprogrammed to be scarier than normal, with creepy animal sounds and effects from some of the older horror holotape films playing over their voice boxes to chase you around and attack you. Of course, most of them were non-lethal rounds and weaker charges for lasers and plasma weapons to make sure no guests got too hurt or killed, but injuries can still happen, so there were a few medic spots to get a stim and keep having fun if you needed it. The same roaming robots also had enhanced armor plating to make sure they wouldn't need too many repairs to keep things running the next nights. Most weapons were allowed, with the exception of stuff like missile launchers, Fatmans, junk jets, along with any grenades or explosives. They didn't want anyone getting fragged by mistake, after all. Goes without saying that the owners of Nuka-World North are also enforcing a policy against any infighting amongst patrons, since they want it to be a fun place, reminiscent of the old world version of the theme park. We definitely had plenty of fun roaming and experiencing the whole event and enjoying the regular park during the daytime too. With the different groups working together, there's no shortage of things to do, and there are some caps to be earned if you know where to look and who to talk to. I'm still planning on going back to try and find some of the secret things that were floating around there. I kept both versions of the map too. I think someone was talking about how the nightmare part of the park was just being planned before the bombs fell, which inspired them to do their own version using what materials they could find, including the designs for the modified map, which was just tweaked a little bit to fit what they've got going on. I'm sure I could go on for hours and hours about all the things Hunter and I saw and did there, but bed has been calling my name since we got back to Ronto proper. It's a few hours of a trek to get from Nuka-World North if you don't have some sort of transport, and Hunter's still a ways away from getting anything resembling even a fusion fleet up and running, so we've spent a lot of time walking the past couple days. This has been Conrad Getz for Double Double Radio, signing off and reminding everyone that it is gourd season. So if you're able to harvest some, they're going to be perfect for pies and for carving. Have a great day, Ronto. Double Double Radio, A Fallout Story, is a Voice in the Static production, written, starring, and produced by Edward Grimgrinner Hutchinson. You can find Double Double Radio on Instagram, Facebook, and other social media sites, and there's a merch store through Etsy. Links are in the episode description. Double Double Radio is also made possible with the love and support of listeners and Wastelanders like you. If you want to help support the show on Patreon, that link will also be in the description alongside the list of monthly supporters.